Welcome back to Consumer Labs. Is there a health risk? Is there some type of problems with your eyes, getting blind maybe, that these Meta Quest 3 and these headsets and these HoloLens and the new Apple Vision Pro can cause to your eyes? Can it damage your eyesight? Can it make you blind? I mean, why no one's talking about this? Why? Why, oh why? Well, it's pretty obvious, right? They want to make money. I mean, who don't want to make money? What company don't want to make money? Well, here at Consumer Labs, we like to talk about things like that. Like I said to you in previous videos, we at Consumer Labs, we don't just test to be testing. We also work and manufacture and build and redesign various different products, whether it's consumer product grade or military grade, right? We do it all. With that being said, it made me think to myself, listen, I got these headsets, right? I got the Meta Quest 3, I got the HoloLens, right? And, you know, we do various things with them. We watch my previous videos, right? And I'm thinking to myself, you know, like these goggles, these lenses, these headsets, the light from these lenses, right? All this output, light output we refer to as, is hitting directly into your eyes. Directly into your eyes. Right now, I'm not going to go into the whole science of an eye, talk about the lens, the nerves, and all. It's not necessary, right? The cones, the rods. That's not necessary, right? I'm going to keep it very simple. What I'm going to say is this. The question, can they damage your eyes? Can these headsets, by the way, these are very expensive headsets, right? I mean, this, for example, the HoloLens is about $3,500, right? You got the Meta Quest 3, which I just showed you, which is this one right here. This is about $500, right? And then you got the Apple Vision Pro, which is going to be $3,500. And of course, I got the ACC Vive, and you know, the prices vary, but they are quite expensive. With that being said, do you want to spend a lot of money to hurt your own vision, to damage your vision? Is it worth it? But the bigger question is, will it even cause any type of damage, right? Will this even damage your eyes? Well, in order to determine that, there's a lot of factors involved. Right? There's a lot of things involved because light itself is not just a simple, well, here's light, like a flashlight, turn it on and off in front of your face, right? Light is made up of photons, right? Waves. And we don't really need to get into all that technical physics type of talk, right? We don't need to do all that, right? Because we talking amongst one another. By the way, I'm not editing none of this. This is done live. I'm not going to edit not a darn thing, right? Because I want to be straightforward. With that being said, well, here at Consumer Labs, I thought to myself, how can I determine whether or not it's going to damage someone's vision? That's going to be really hard to do unless, I should say, over time will be the determining factor. But there's something we can do. Yes, there's something we can do in the meantime. We can monitor what type of light intensity is coming out of these lenses. Well, we do know that Apple said they're going to have 1,000 nits. By the way, 1,000 nits, I just think of it as the intensity of the light output. Basically, think of it as a flashlight emitting light to your eyes. I'm just trying to keep it simple, right? With that being said, another factor becomes when light is shining in your eyes, when you're watching the images through the headset or through your monitor or any of those things, what's happening is that they're also emitting what? Various types of wavelengths. Now, you probably heard already, and you probably know this already, that blue light tends to cause the most probable light wave to cause you more problems, right? Most of you know this already, it's nothing new there, right? So that's why you see some of these phones and monitors being able to limit the amount of blue light reaching your eyes, right? We got that. So you got that. So you got the light intensity. You have the wavelengths that are actually hitting your eye. The particular one, maybe blue, that's hitting your eye. How much intensity that is? Well, that's going to cause you different types of medical problems. Well, in order for us to do that, like I mentioned a second ago, is that we use various types of devices. And this is one of the type of devices. It's a great device, and here at Consumer Labs we use it all the time, especially when we're dealing with light. And what happens is this here measures all types. I don't know if you can see it, but it measures various wavelengths. It measures the wavelengths. It measures the intensity. It tells you where and what wavelength is being at what intensity. It gives a whole bunch of data, a whole bunch of information. It also capable of measuring UV. Now UV, there's UVA, UVB, UVC. All right, I don't want to get into all the specs of that, but UV itself can damage your eyes. That's a fact. That's not my opinion. It could definitely damage your eyes, depending on intensity, depending on exposure time. I mean, there's a lot of different variables that go into that. With that being said, I still didn't answer the question, did I? I said, will the goggles damage your eyes? Will it cause you to go blind? Well, right now, at this particular time and moment, that's unfortunately, it's like cigarette smoking, right? You don't know the damage until later on. You won't know the effects of wearing these goggles every day for hours and hours on end until when? Till later on. Because see, unfortunately, some things cannot be discovered until later on. Just like with the COVID vaccine, right? Initially, it's great, it's beautiful, right? But then they found out that, oh man, this thing's causing some problems, some medical problems, right? It's causing some problems with women that was pregnant, right? Kids, right? So you don't realize those effects until later on, just like cigarette smoking, right? People were smoking for years, but later on in life, they realize, oh, dang, man, it's causing cancer, etc., etc. Oh, man, lung cancer, all types of medical issues, right? So, oh, man, that's the problem with these headsets. We really won't get a defined answer until later on in life. Why? So they may say, why is that? If we got the device to measure the intensity, to measure the wavelength, to measure the output, etc., why can't we just make a determination? Because at the end of the day, everybody's built differently. Everybody have different genetics. Everybody's temperament is different. Everybody's built different. They really are. Now, we do know that fatigue will definitely play a role, right? You can definitely get fatigued from like that. You don't need years to figure that one out, right? But when it comes to the eye having more severe problems like nerve damage and structure damage, that's going to take time to figure out, to take time to find out. Now, you can always speculate that, right? Yes, you can always speculate, make a conclusion, your own possible personal conclusion, but it's going to be hard to say if this is definitely going to cause some type of eye injuries or problems. Now, so the question is this. The answer, I should say, is this. What can we do in the meantime? Because I know everybody want to get them hands on that Apple Vision Pro that's going to cost you $3,500, or they want to wear that Meta Quest 3 or HoloLens, etc., etc. Here's the thing. Here's what we do know, and here's what we can do, right? What we do know is that, yes, if you wear the headsets for a long period of time, yes, it can cause eye fatigue, right? It can mess up your sleep, right? Because, like I said before, depending on the intensity of the blue wavelength, can mess up your sleep. That's not my opinion. You can check it out and do the research yourself. But right, so a device like I just showed you can measure that. We can measure how much intensity is in the blue wavelength, how much is in the green, how much is in the red, how much UV, ultraviolet light is being emitted from the headsets, right? We can do that, if any, by the way. You don't have to mean there's some, just if any, right? So here's the other thing. Here's the last thing I'm going to say. So the beauty is this, and this is where you're going to say, that's kind of weird you say that. The fact that the battery life of these headsets is only 2 hours is actually a great thing. What? Yeah, I want to say that again, because I know everybody it's only 2 hours, only 2 hours, only 2 hours. But you know what? That's a great thing. It's actually a good thing that these headsets are only 2 hours. Think about it. 2 hours mean what? I'll have to do what? I have to take them off. I got to take them off and I got to charge them, right? So, for example, this HoloLens, If I use this for 2 hours, sometimes even less, I gotta take them off and I gotta recharge them. That's actually a good thing, because what we can do, and what we do know rather, is that to eliminate eye fatigue, the best solution is to stop watching the monitor. That's really it. Stop looking at it for a while. Take a break, right? Go relax your eyesight. Go do something else. Look away from the screen. The same thing here. Look away from the screen. Go take a break, right? That's actually a blessing in disguise, right? It's not like the cellular phone where your phone's working for hours and hours. In these headsets, 2 hours maximum. Maybe sometimes a little bit over, it depends. But in average, all these headsets, in general, I'm talking about, by the way, I'm talking about the battery operated headsets. Obviously, you got the ones that connect to your computer, they're going to run longer. But I'm talking about the battery operated headsets, such as these HoloLens, MetaQuest 3, Apple Vision Pro, etc. Right? The 2 hour limitation is actually a great thing. It's actually a great thing. It really is. So, here at Consumer Labs, we're going to keep continually doing research on these headsets. We're going to keep monitoring them, because obviously the companies will not do the research. And you know what? I do believe they've done the research, but I don't think they're going to tell you any results. I doubt that very highly. Now, one thing you need to know is that the Apple Vision emits 1,000 nits. Now, 1,000 nits, don't need to get into physics. Just think of it as the light output, right? The light intensity. That's basically what it is, right? And that light output, the 1,000 nits, like I said, just basically the light intensity, the light coming out from the screen. Can it damage your eyes? I'm gonna say it can't damage your eyes, because if you think about it, the sun around you, right? That's more than, it's about, it's definitely, if you look at the sun, you got way more than 1,000 nits, right? So I doubt that's the case. Also, the blue wavelength. Obviously, the sun emits blue, red, all different colors of the spectrum. So that's understandable. But my concern with the headsets is more about the fact that you're going to have this light beaming directly into your eyes. You see what I'm saying? When you're outside in the sun, light is doing what? It's bouncing and reflecting off a whole bunch of stuff, right? Because light ain't just coming directly to your sight when we're outdoors, right? It's doing reflection, right? Reflection, you got refraction, you got transmissions, you got absorption, you got all these different variables occurring, right? When you're wearing these headsets though, that light is coming directly into your eyes, and that's my concern about it. The fact that it's coming directly into my eyes, to me, we should do more research to find out whether or not it's going to affect us. And if so, how it's going to affect us. Is it just going to be fatigue? Is it going to damage our nerves within the eyes? I mean, or it's just going to be okay. But we need to know, right? But here at Consumer Labs, we'll keep doing the research. We'll keep looking up. When the Apple Vision Pro come out, we're gonna get the hands on those, and we're gonna look at that. And we're gonna see what the numbers are. By the way, we will be doing the numbers on this MetaQuest 3. We're going to be doing some, we're going to analyze and see what wavelengths are coming out from the lens, what the intensity is, etc., etc. And we're going to determine how much is too much. We're going to look at that more deeply. So make sure you subscribe here at Consumer Labs, because guess what? We're going to bring you results. You're going to see the truth. Because the last thing I'm going to say, I know I said this already, but the really, really last thing I'm going to say is this. You can't just watch, we can't just watch YouTube just to inspire us. We should be watching these various channels to give us knowledge, give us information that the companies will not give us. They are not going to deviate from their plan. They're not going to willingly give you information that might hurt them, such as the cellular phones, right? The cellular phones, as you probably know, these cell phones today, they're emitting 5G. Now 5G, that's a huge, that's a lot of energy being emitted. Good thing it's only for short distance, but nevertheless, it's still a lot of energy being emitted. Are the cellular phone companies going to tell you, the good, the bad about it? Of course not. Why would they do that? They'll make no money, just like the cigarette companies. Did they tell us for decades and decades how what's the medical problems or associated cancers that could be caused by smoking? Of course not. Same thing with alcohol. Same thing with alcohol, drinking. I mean, the list goes on and on. Same thing, like I said before, with the COVID, the vaccine. No company is going to tell you the cons. And if they tell you the cons, it ain't cons. They're going to make it look like it's still a pro, right? So just something to think about. Anyway, here at Consumer Labs, make sure you subscribe, leave your comment below, and you know what? We'll talk.
Oi, got to get over that brick wall. What's that sound?